Hey everyone, welcome to Goalorious. Today I'm super excited to talk with Matthew, the founder of Ape Scissors. Hey Matthew.
Hey Brent, how you going?
Good. Thanks for taking the time to talk about your project. I always love doing these developer interviews, so I appreciate your time to talk with me and my community today. And the first question right off the bat is, what's up with the name Ape Scissors? I mean, my name is Glorious, which is still an odd name, but so I understand, but maybe you have an explanation and a story behind yours.
Yeah, for sure. So I originally started thinking about the game Ape Scissors and the ecosystem around about 2019, and it was the original idea was just a simple game that played off rock paper scissors on blockchain. So we decided it was going to be block and then ape because everyone's aping into everything, and scissors obviously with the continuity there. So that's how Block Ape Scissors was born, and since then it has emerged into quite a big evolution of different stages in the ecosystem.
No, that makes a lot more sense to me now, and it's actually a clever name. So yeah, maybe you could talk about obviously you're the founder. Maybe you could talk about your team and kind of like the overall overview of what this project is about.
Beautiful, yeah. So um, I'm the founder, so all the white paper and the ape paper and all the ideas are from my brain. But we have some amazing, brilliant people on the team. So Dan is the CEO of Gift Protocol, and he's our developer. So he's an extremely well-respected and admired Solidity developer in the space. He's already doxed prior. And we have Lockie, who's our head of creative, and he's got a master's in architectural engineering. So he's really versed with the 3D design aspect and those sorts of things, which helps us a lot in our ideation for the game design in 3D. And we've actually got another 6 other people on the
Oh
team,
wow.
and I'm sorry if I'm going to miss everybody, but we have an animator and 2 CG artists, and we have 3 marketing people, and we're still adding to the team in terms of front end and back end and devs for the game. So, but our core team in terms of founders, myself, Dan, and Lockie, and yeah, I'd say by probably August, September, we will have about 15 people working on the game.
No,
And
that's
it's
great. I always get kind of weary when I talk to other projects that are like, oh yeah, there's like 1, 2 people, and then they're gonna make like an NFT marketplace, a wallet, the platform, all these things, and I'm like, are you sure 2 people? So it's good to know that you are hiring the right amount of people, and then you're getting experts to work on this. And yeah, like I've checked out your website and read about your white paper and a paper, and it sounds like something that's super exciting. Obviously, if you're making a full-blown game, that makes a lot of sense to have all those people. So maybe we could talk a little bit about the game itself. So the game is not out yet. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we're building it out. However, I have written all of the mechanics.
Oh,
So we have a
nice.
game manifesto. All the mechanics are done. The IP is getting sorted as we speak. So I'm really excited about that. But genuinely, Brent, I'm just super excited to start playing this game with people. Like, it's going to be incredibly addictive. I'm already addicted to it, and I haven't even played it with anyone. So really excited to get it out there.
Yeah, I'm actually a big gaming person myself. I've worked for a couple of game companies in the past and worked in esports and things like that. And I'm a huge board gamer too. I would show you, but I have a
Nice.
gigantic wall here that has, I hate saying the number, but I have like 400 board games right next to me. So we'll keep that a secret. But 400 board games next to me. So I'm a big gamer. So hopefully when this comes out, I'm not sure because I see that there's tournaments and stuff going on. I'm not sure how good I'm going to be in the game, but I'll definitely try it out and play it because it sounds awesome.
Yeah, nice. So to give you a bit of a window into it, it's kind of like we're going with kind of like a 3D poker format in essence with so there'll be apes in the jungle and they're all sitting down around these kind of like wooden stools. The game itself's being built out in Unity 3D. with low poly models. So the streaming side of things won't be too high. And it'll be a lot of fun. So, the poker format where you go around at a table and there's actions and those sorts of things. Essentially, if you like poker, but don't necessarily have the brains or the smarts to be totally elite at it, you will love this game.
That sounds like me. That sounds like me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's designed for people to have a lot of fun, to team up and group up. But we also, by the same token, have mechanisms in there to stabilize the mechanics of the games for people that are teaming up and have collusion and potential, all those different things where, let's say you've got 2 people on the table who aren't working together and you have 4 people on the table who are. Well, you need some kind of balance mechanism where if people are working together on the internet and, there's all of this kind of things happening behind the scenes, well, there needs to be balance. So we've catered to that. Took a long time to think about how it was going to work, but we got the balance right. And yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see, these people trying to beat the system and working together in groups, and these other people who are being colluded against, getting rewarded essentially for being ganged up on. So I'd like to think that we've thought of everything in terms of the fun elements, the mechanics, how we can make it go viral when the game's out, how we can reward people and put revenue streams back into the ecosystem as well. So I think it should be really well balanced, and hopefully a lot of people really love playing the game.
No, it sounds awesome. I'm checking out the white paper now, and it seems like there's like the battle mode and like you have like a tournament mode. So it seems like you really thought this out. And so again, when you're saying the rewards, I know that here that says like NFT rewards, or are you talking about like specific tokens or both, I guess?
That's a really good question. So there are multiple rewards. There's NFT rewards. So once we have the game in operation, there'll be a lot of gamification. Cool. So there's leaderboards and rankings and different types of stats and metrics associated with your behavior and which games you play, and you'll be ranked in different formats. So when you climb the rankings up, there'll be like, as an example, there'll be monthly rankings for people, and the people that get in, say, top 10 get a specific NFT.
Cool.
So that NFT will basically 95% of the NFTs on our platform are going to have utility. They're not just these shiny things where you can just hide them in your wallet and never look at them. The NFTs, they apply in different ways. So one of the ways is they apply to the farms. So you might get an NFT, and if you're farming as well, you're going to lock in your DPY, and you've got this NFT, and that NFT has a very specific modifier on it. So it will allow you to extend your lock-in, or it'll allow you to put more SAS or LP in, depending on what it is, or something like that allows you a greater benefit on the initial lock-in of the farm. Because let's say, for example, in the personalized DPY farms, you're going to have a random DPY associated with your farm. And let's say if you lock in and then you get a really high DPY, you're probably going to think to yourself, damn, I wish I had put more in this, because my ROI is going to be something like 60% over 14 days. That's incredible. Why didn't I put more money in? And then so it causes people, or incentivizes people, to go and play the game, aim for that NFT that allows them to extend their lock-in, and basically gamifies the whole process. The other NFTs, there are ones that apply also to the game. So there are these things called power modes, which we haven't released yet, and you're actually the first person publicly to know about them. So there are power mode options for the games, which there are wilds, and there are also alpha NFTs that will be coming out. Sorry, my screen's just gone off there. So those power and wild and alpha NFTs, they allow essentially, like, you've got core moves in the game, and then you've got power moves, and those power moves are kind of game overbalancing things. So if you go into a power move type game, you better be willing and ready to face other people with power move NFTs.
I see. Okay. So you'll actually put them again so that it's reasonably fair.
It's got to be fair. It
Got
has
it.
to be fair.
Cool.
So we'll do that. But yeah, the NFTs, they will have applications, so you're going to want to earn them, and we're looking at this in a way that it'll create a secondary and third market based on those NFTs in their intrinsic value, and they'll probably end up getting traded on various NFT marketplaces, and it'd be interesting to see what sort of value they hold over time.
Yeah, I mean, giving NFTs value and utility, I think makes a lot of sense. I do like NBA Top Shot, and I just collect them, and I just look at them, and I show my friends, but I can't do anything with them. But so it's good that you're thinking about that and actually giving people reason to, use them, and I think that's awesome. And I've looked at like your artwork on the website and the white paper, and it looks really good. I always comment on people's like logos and things like that. So I really like your guys' like overall look and feel. So kudos to one of your many team members on the design of that. I think it looks good. And I think that's important, especially if you're making an app and NFTs, you want it to look slick and nice as possible, especially you want people over and over again to keep utilizing it, etc. And I assume since you have like a tournament mode, you want people to be like streaming this, or you're streaming this on Twitch or something like that, and people are viewing it. So obviously having it the look and feel I think is important as well.
Definitely.
But that's cool. Yeah, I think so. Maybe that was the game. So where does the token? And the token is for. I think you guys had a pre-sale recently, right? Like your pre-sale just happened. And how does my follow-up question is, how did that go? And then also, how's everything going with like the launch and things like that? And for people that are interested in the token specifically and how it's used, I guess in this ecosystem.
Yeah, cool. So we had a private sale. It was roughly 2 weeks ago, and we raised 500 BNB at the time, purely for development related activities. So we have essentially we've got all of our expenses. Like if we absolutely had to go through everything, we could make it all public if necessary. It's all open. I mean, everything's on the blockchain anyway, so you can track it down and see it. But that's purely for development. And then we did a pre-sale, which was 750 BNB.
Oh, wow.
And that sold out in about 40 minutes. Everybody apes these pre-sales. It's crazy.
I wish I found out about this project 2 weeks ago or something like that, but it's still very early on. Like I'm looking at this roadmap, and there's a lot of interesting stuff, not just including all the things you said. But so I assume the launch went well, so that's awesome. Cool.
The launch went well, but typically in this type of climate, there are people that want to get in, get out, make quick money. And because we didn't have a product straight away, and an offering, and we didn't have super duper massive hype marketing, a lot of people have exited because they not looking to stick around until the farms or for whatever reason. It wasn't going to make money overnight. So some of those people have gone, but that's okay. They're not the kind of holders that we really want, to be honest.
I think that's like typical with every project that you see. And then I usually get in like after the initial all-time high, or I hold and then just wait for the real organic steady growth of like people learning about the project, development of the project, things coming out. That's really when I always relate it to something like Safe Moon, where if you look at the first 10 days of Safe Moon, like the all-time high, and then it dipped down. A lot of other people, they start building up the real hype, and then they start releasing actual utility and actual products and features. That's when it actually like doubled, tripled all-time high. So for all those people out there that are worried about that, still a great time to get in, because once everything gets released,
Yeah, that's it. So at the moment we've got like 410 holders. So it's really, we're at probably the lowest level that we'll ever be in terms of token price. And that's because very, very soon the farms come out. So the SaaS staking model comes out. So I've been farming for a long time, and I have a very deep appreciation and understanding for DeFi and farming.
Yeah.
What's really important for, I think, the community and also this project is that we reduce sell pressure. So I've been on a lot of other different projects with DeFi and farming where they only care about TVL and they only care about operator fees. They don't care about token price. They don't care about sell pressure. And this is a huge issue because if you buy the native token and start farming the native LPs in pairs, and you're accumulating that native token and it's going down, in value comparative to, the amount that you've put in, and all of a sudden you're looking at IL and you're looking at all these things, that's not okay. So our farming model is going to be different. You will essentially only be able to earn BAS by staking BAS. You cannot earn BAS by, providing cake and BNB LPs. That's not going to happen. Sorry, guys. Because we don't want the sell pressure. But by the same token, and I might just take a tangent here into the reward structures, there'll be fees on our games, and those fees are going to the farms. Yeah. They're not coming to us. They go directly to the farms. So what happens is, X%, I can't reveal exactly how much at this point, is going from the fees in each game and each tournament. It goes directly into the farms to you guys. So all of those shit coins, meme coins, dead coins, whatever they are, they go into the farms for you guys to stake and pick up. We take fees on ops, but there's no sell pressure on the BAS token. In order to get these shit coins, you must hold BAS. So we create buy pressure instead. If we have a really good game that everyone loves playing, and those fees are going to the farms where you have to be a BAS holder to use them, what happens here?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, we've thought about it. We don't want people selling the token. Our token, you can only buy the in-game NFT accessories, like let's say you're the ape sitting at the table and you want to whip out your Safe Moon cigar. Well, if you want a Safe Moon cigar, you need to buy it.
Yeah. And then it says here you also have to gain entry to all the battles, tournaments, and the NFTs with the BAS token. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm into farming and staking too, and I totally agree. This makes it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, you want to create value for the token, and from if people. You're confident in it, and I'm confident too, because your game is gonna be good. It's gonna be something that people want to play, and people want to continue to do things, buy stuff, in-game cosmetics, or enter battles or tournaments. There's pretty much a lot of opportunity for people to do things depending on their level of involvement. If they want to be super competitive, or they just like the look and feel, and they're just playing with their friends, etc., which makes a lot of sense. And everything is foundation on the BAS token. So
that's it. Yeah. It's core to everything, and there are multiple revenue streams here in terms of NFTs, the game fees, the token tax, which we haven't really covered off, but I might just segue for a little bit. So we have I think we're the first, at least that I'm aware of, that are pioneering a variable split difference token tax mechanism.
But is it like between 1 and 10% or something like that? Is that?
It is, yeah. So we can set the tax variation between 1 and 10% via smart contract switches, and those switches also allow us to determine the destinations of those taxes. So we have 6 different multi-sig wallets for different purposes, and then we have 6 anyway, and then we have obviously the buyback, the holders and the LPs, which allows us at different situations and circumstances to be dynamic and fluid with how we want to approach the business as an actual business model. So let's say, for example, we have something coming up and we need to raise marketing funds.
Makes sense.
We can run a competition with some prize pools, and we can change the way that reflects the token value and the tax directly to prize pool and marketing. Or if there's heaps of volume and we're getting heaps of holders on the back of marketing initiative, we change that to reflect, so that the holders gain additional value. So there's lots of ways that we can steer this in the right direction, and we can do it without any FUD because it's all built into the actual contract. And all we have to do is change the switches and make sure, obviously, that the community is aware about what we're doing before we do it.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense. Like, yeah, I haven't heard of any project that did it that's done that before, but it makes sense. And I was gonna use marketing as an example. Maybe I'm a little biased, but like, yeah, if you have this huge launch coming up, maybe on your app or some tournament, big tournament, maybe you want to allocate for the next couple of days or a week or something like that, and you change the tax. And for all the real true holders that really believe in the project and want to succeed, they should totally be okay with that. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, I want to make sure that the founders of the project that I'm invested in are pushing it as much as possible, and doing whatever is needed. And like all the things you listed made sense. LP, buyback, operations, marketing, DAO treasury, prize pools, and bounty. Yeah, like all those things are things I'm like, yes, that's what we should be spending money on. That's what things that to make this project or take it to the next level. So I think that's good. I think it's a smart idea.
Nice. And the other thing there is probably a really interesting point is the DAO treasury. So we've got 15% of our supply that's allocated to the DAO treasury and future development. So this is very much a community first project. Like, we really want to get the community involved, get them embedded from a very early stage about what it is, the ecosystem we're building out, the roadmap, what we're doing, how we're going about it, and get really, clever key people in from an early stage that want to be with it on the long haul, because there's quite a, large amount of supply that's sitting there that we can use for group and community initiatives. So as an example, when the DAO is operational, if someone comes up with a really awesome idea that is complementary, or it's a project branch that's not going to take, a lot of time to develop, we can allocate, a portion of the supply to have that built out. And once we get through, second and third stage, which is, RPG and then AR, VR sides of the game with GPS monitoring, then that side of things, we are going to basically be handing over, a portion of the direction to the DAO. So we really want to shape this in a direction where you guys, as in the holders, the community, the people that play the game, have a really great opportunity to not only just contribute, but to help drive where this goes. We have our vision and we'll execute that, but where it goes from here, there's a concept called 1 + 1 = 3, which is, the whole is bigger than the sum of the parts.
Yeah.
Because that's the core of this, right? So community and having community input and having them, build this with us is going to create much more value than just us, being autocratic and deciding exactly where it goes. So I'm not so foolish to think that I have the best ideas on the planet. I think I have some good ideas, but there's people out there who are going to give us, a much more wide view, with a view to the future. So it's going to be really interesting to see where it goes.
This is a compliment. You sound like a game developer, game company founder, and then a crypto founder. I mean, you're both, but the idea is that that's how all game founders think. They're like, well, we listen to the community. How do we make our game better? What do they want to play? What they, like improving that. And that's like an awesome mentality to have, because that's your focus is like, okay, how do we make this game better? Obviously, it's built on crypto and things like that. But as long as we make the game good, make the game come, people will come and play it. And I'm all for that, coming from gaming background, etc. So I think that makes a lot of sense.
I have a really strong gaming background myself. I mean, I was playing. We'll take a bit of a window into my past, actually. So, I was playing Civilization 2 in my year 11 in high school. Yeah. Instead of studying, I was playing Civ 2 on Emperor and winning. It's ridiculous. I love that game. All the Civ games, anything strategy, loved it. I played a lot of StarCraft, Brood War online. Didn't understand what half the people were saying because they were all,
international or something
Koreans that were incredibly brilliant. But that was good, playing all the ladder rankings and stuff. And I think that's where my passion for counters came from, is that side of things. And all the FPSs, CS, Dave Defeat, all those. But my passion's always been strategy games. So
Yeah, and it's good that like you build like a great and like I said, and I keep saying this, your mission is to build a great game that people want to play, and then have the cryptocurrency be the way that powers that. And I think that's awesome. And obviously with NFTs and things like that, it's definitely unique and definitely like we know because I know a lot of people tried to make like gaming NFTs and gaming like small games. Etc. But nothing to this level where it's like built out where you really thought down the strategy, the competition, the fairness, and that's what you want to do. You want to build a great game that people play, and in order to play it, to buy in, you have to have the BAS token. And I heard you a while ago. I think you said AR VR. Is that like a Pokemon Go type of component? Where I'm just thinking, this is not spoilers because I'm the one saying it. Maybe there is because I'm a board gamer. I said I had 400 board games. If there's a way where realistically there's people sitting around the table and they're all playing with each other, or maybe there's specific places that you go to play the game or earn stuff. But yeah, that opens it up to a lot of things, and it's great that you're thinking that much ahead. So,
well, we can delve into that a little bit actually. Because I love board games as well. One of my favorite board games is Lords of Waterdeep. I don't know if you've played it.
I have that. It's up there. I'm not going to find it. Yeah. I promise you that I have it. I'll have to show it to you after. But yeah, Lords of Waterdeep, the Dungeons and Dragons themed. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Worker placement. Yep. Got it.
Yeah. So I'm a big D&D fan. I love all the mechanics. And so what inspired me for this specific idea is I don't know of any games at this point in time that have a tabletop version where you have figurines that are NFTs.
No.
So one of the very first things that we have done is make NFTs that can be 3D printable figurines. So essentially, I foresee at some point that we will have a board game version of this in the RPG format, where you will be sent your figurine, which is essentially a 3D printout of your game character. And did you ever play, what's that game called? Skylanders. Did you ever play that?
I do. I have some Skylanders. It's a funny story. Not so funny. My wife doesn't think it's funny. There's a Skylander that's like the whale with the hook or something like that.
Yes.
He holds my wedding ring because he has the hook. He's just like the perfect like size because you have to like wrap the ring around it. He's like this gigantic figurine. I don't play Skylanders anymore, so it's not like I'm putting him on the pedestal every single time, but it's there. So yes, long story short, I know what Skylanders is, and even like Amiibos or whatever like that, right? Is the Nintendo version of that?
Yeah. So Skylanders is a really interesting model where you have these figurines and they store data, and you can put them on the pad, and then they interact with the console, and then they interact with the game. So essentially, we can do the same thing with NFTs. Basically, all they do is they store dynamic and static data that references to the blockchain. And with something like Binance Smart Chain or even Polygon and a few of the others, we can make that data cost very, very small. So you can have terrestrial versions of games that interact with real NFTs. And those NFTs, you might take to a terrestrial tournament, but it still tracks and has all of your data, right?
Yeah, they never did a Skylanders like... I guess they couldn't because I guess 3D printing wasn't out there when Skylanders came out. But yeah, like a unique way to have your unique character. I play a lot of like MMORPGs. I'm just admitting this. But like people like that unique character. And I assume since you mentioned NFTs, there's going to be like limited amount of NFTs that people have. So if they see that unique NFT used in like a physical setting, they're not like, oh, you're cool or you're special because you got that one, that limited edition one. So
yeah. So if you imagine I don't know if you've ever played the World of Warcraft tabletop game.
I have that. I do. I play. Unfortunately, I played everything. Yeah.
It takes an enormous amount of time to set up, and for me, that's not really good enough. I mean, it's great that you have all these little pieces and stuff, but a lot of these tabletop games, the mechanics can be done by a smart contract, right? Essentially, you can have like a dungeon master or a game master that is a smart contract. And you could have AI sitting in there that retrains itself based on parameters.
I see. Yeah. And
right?
like
So,
that, you keep talking D&D, and since I'm a YouTuber, so I follow a lot of YouTubers, and they do a lot of board game YouTubes, and then a lot of people like D&D is like it's the biggest thing right now on YouTube. Like separate gaming teams or communities do D&D YouTube series, and I think it'd be awesome to have this some sort of component where they have their physical figures, and yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities. I'll leave it at that, but I do think that it's really interesting. Yeah, I always keep thinking about 3D printing and how the board game industry hasn't used it as much as they possibly could. I know they're going to eventually, maybe some have, but there's lots of opportunities there. And obviously, like I like the unique NFT component about either achieving something to get it. I think makes a lot of sense, or earning. I'll say earning makes a lot of
yeah, I
sense.
think with the NFTs and the 3D printing, I don't think they've gone down that route because the cost for mass production is much higher. Like you can't really mass produce unique 3D printable figurines. You would need some sort of retailer localized where you can do it. Shipping costs would be too high. So essentially, this narrows your market opportunity down to more boutique type of things, which
Sure.
is kind of realistically, that's where crypto is. Crypto is very boutique. You want people that are interested in this kind of thing. They want to be on the bleeding edge. They want to be at the cusp. But if you provide massive benefits in time and efficiency and those sorts of things that couple with this kind of thing for when people play the game, you actually get more people buying it, playing it. So they haven't really looked at the opportunity cost there, I don't think. Whereas what makes it better is the ability to be dynamic with these things and have like cross-pollination into different ecosystems and inter-platform, game collabs and all those sorts of things. So you might have your specific D&D character that's a 3D printed, NFT, and that can connect in and play in a variety of different ecosystems. But I don't think game companies, they're still very bordered,
I see.
very
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
siloed. It's
Yeah.
like, well, this is our game, and that's everyone can go away. Whereas, everyone in crypto is like borderless. Let's do this. Hey, let's collab here. Let's do this, and it all comes together. Whereas they still haven't kind of made that connection. And,
Like I think the game that comes to mind, not a board game, but like Roblox, is something that comes to mind because you just make a single character and that's your unique avatar, and you could jump to any game that's made by any developer. And you just keep the same character. You just jump from game to game. It doesn't matter how simple the game is, but you could just jump to any game, and it's borderless. Your character's the same, your friend list is the same, and yeah, you're exactly right. Like there's a million board game publishers and things like that. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, and I think for my viewers out there, like BAS, block Ape Scissors token is the kind of the gateway or the foundation where you get in, and there's a lot of opportunities, not just for this game, but how this game unlocks other possibilities. And I think everything that you're saying is super exciting, and I think that there's just possibilities endless, and it's great you're thinking from like a gamer, what you think, rather than okay, how do I make money? Obviously that's important, but also like how do I make something that's entertaining for people, from gamers, board gamers, people that are just casual gamers. And I think that's something that's really going to resonate with people, and really gives people like me who are always looking for projects to back like a lot of confidence that hey, my money into this token is going to go potentially a long way. So I think that's great. So
yeah, I think you've touched on a few really important things there. So I obviously have a passion for games and gaming and game theory and theory crafting and all those types of fun mechanisms. I was literally playing Guitar Hero with my daughter the other day. Just like I love it. And card games, all sorts of games. Love them. They bring something unique and different out in you, and with experiences with family and friends. There's no substitute.
exactly.
And so what we want to do, just taking a bit of a segue, is we just want to build a really amazing game and gaming environment and ecosystem. And personally, like myself and Dan and Lockie, like this is more of a labor of love. Yes, we will make money, but to be perfectly honest, most of the money is actually going to go to our token holders. They're probably not really aware of this, but our revenue models drive operating profit, yes, and the tax system drives operating profit in order for us to be utilizing it in different ways. But the platform is designed to reward holders and designed essentially as a decentralized company model where you are, if you own Bass Token, you are a part owner in this company, and through the DAO you have a say, a genuine say. We're building multiple revenue streams here, but the purpose is we want to build an amazing system that rewards people and is hugely fun and goes crazy viral. That's the goal. If I walk down the street and I see someone in a Bass hoodie talking to someone else about the game, I have won. That's been a success for me. The money is secondary. If we make good coin out of it, great. But that's not the purpose of this. We've got long-term plans. I've done lots of things in the corporate world. I've made money before, and that's great. But what I realized is money doesn't bring you happiness. Doing something amazing and creating a legacy and looking back and going, wow, we did this. This is the coolest thing that has come along in 2021 or 2022. Yeah. That's what we want, and we're willing to work with the community to create that. And that's, I think that's the whole point, is we are ready to get our hands dirty and we want to build this thing and make it amazing. And take a bunch of amazing, incredible people along for the ride with us.
Yeah, it sounds like an awesome project. And I know I took up like 36 minutes of your time. I know we kind of went on a tangent talking about all the possibilities and things like that. I think you said it correctly by saying, multiple revenue streams, which is exciting for investors out there. So you guys out there, that you're thinking about all these different ways, not only obviously to make money, but to make the game fun, tap to different audiences, etc. So definitely sounds amazing. Definitely something I'm going to keep my eye on and keep giving you guys updates on this project. Is there anything last minute that you wanted to say about Block Ape Scissors? Maybe I should have asked at the beginning. When does the app and the game come out? I've seen some like footage and things like that, which I'll show earlier in the video. But when are we expecting the release of iOS and Android?
Good questions. Very, very good questions. So we'll go to what's coming most immediately first, okay, which will be the farms. We're aiming to have the farms operational this week.
Oh, nice, awesome.
Yeah, which means that you can ape in and start earning some DPY on your Bass tokens, so stacks and Bass, and then so next week and the week after is going to be huge for game dev. So at the moment we've got a lot of the animation and CG stuff happening this week and next week. We're hoping to have an alpha of the game that is playable in 4 weeks.
Okay, 4 weeks. That's pretty soon. Sorry, not putting the pressure on you, but that's pretty good. Yeah. If you need an alpha tester, I know someone.
Do you? Oh,
me,
that's cool.
me, it's me. But yeah, how do people get into the alpha? Is there like a sign up or anything like that, or you just?
Well, you can just message me.
Me. Others, I will definitely message you. But if there's anyone else, or I don't know if you're accepting people, etc. I just want to make sure that if there's anyone else who's super interested in it.
Probably come into the Telegram, and cool. once we start moving forward, then as we get closer, we'll probably start making a list. Cool. We might even do a giveaway for this.
Nice.
To see how that goes through Gleam. We'll see how it goes, but we should have. Ideally, we want sort of like 50 or 100 alpha testers, I think, to test out the game, make sure it works fine. Any little sort of creases to iron out, and give us some feedback. But hope, fingers crossed, 4 weeks.
Cool. Sounds good. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Matthew. Was there anything last minute that you wanted to mention about the project? Or obviously we know it's coming. We're going to keep our eyes on it. But anything else last minute that you wanted to add about Block Ape Scissors? I know we talked a lot. I know we talked about a lot,
We
and we
did.
covered a little everything, which is awesome. I like when we actually talk. I think this was twice as long as we intended to, and it sounds super exciting. So like, I'm
Ah,
hopefully gonna be able to try the alpha real soon.
yes. So the main thing is we'll be going with web version first,
Oh, cool.
and then it will be iOS and Android. The reason being is we think that we will have a lot more people on the web version sort of playing first. Um, another point is we were originally going to go with Unreal Engine 4 in order to ideate the game in the 3D sense. We've since pivoted since talking to people in depth about how this is going to scale, and we're going with Unity 3D. And the specific technical reason for that is that with Unreal Engine 4, it renders on the server side and starts streaming pixels to the client. So if you imagine, if we have something like 20,000 clients going at once concurrently, that cost is going to escalate quite significantly. And effectively, that will take away from our operating revenue that will be going for holders. So instead of doing that, we're going with Unity 3D, where things render on the client end, and that essentially that cost is minimal, like it's negligible. So this will scale a lot better using Unity 3D. Something interesting for the techies out there.
I've built two apps, not myself. I haven't built anything. I built two apps on Unity, so I would go for Unity as well. Plus,
Yep.
probably easier to do cross-platform and web
Yep.
versions, etc. So, again, I'm not an expert in anything, but you are. That sounds all good to me, and it sounds like you guys make this right decisions. But the web version is awesome. I have a computer just in case if you need testers. But no, I think it makes a lot of sense, especially like people still learning about the project and things like that. It's probably a lot easier for them to learn about all the things going on the web and
Yeah.
things like that. So
There's also more integrations to do for the iOS and the Android side.
like
It'll be
with
slow to
wallets
go
and
to
stuff,
market.
right? Like I would assume, yeah,
Yep.
that makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Slow to go to market. So we want to get it out there as soon as we can, and harvest that alpha list of people that want to learn how to play and have fun.
Cool. So my last question, I promise this is my last question.
Okay.
I assume that the games are going to come out soon, 4 weeks. I assume you're going to share on, and I'll share the links in the bottom for like your website, your Telegram, your Twitter. I assume you guys are going to share like more videos, more screenshots of what the game looks like and things like that, and walkthroughs. So guys, check it out. I'll put the link in the description for more information. So I assume that's all going to be coming soon, and I'll keep you guys updated on this project. So
Yep. So as we get more animations and character and assets and stuff, we'll be sharing them with our community along the journey. So yeah, look forward to sharing with you guys, and hope to see you in the game soon.
yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated. I'll probably make a follow-up video on this. I'll tweet it out when the game is coming out. When I guess you said in a week the farming will be coming out. So I'll keep you guys updated for sure. Remember, check out the website at blockapescissors.com. But thanks everyone for watching. Catch you guys later. And thank you, Matthew, for taking the time to talk to us. Hopefully we could talk very soon again. So thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks very much for having me, Brent.
Thanks,
Cheers,
everyone.
guys.
Bye.